missiles. Even in conditions of cloud, the Phantoms were able to get through and unload their weapons. The Vietnam War witnessed the use of the USAF's whole spectrum of tactical weapons, including all types of free-fall and retarded high-explosive bomb. Retarded bombs were designed to allow the attacking aircraft to drop accurately at low level, yet get away before the force of the explosion. Phantoms also operated in tight patterns at medium altitudes, all dropping their bombs on the command of the leader to deliver ordnance with maximum concentration. Napalm was a particularly important weapon in the U.S. tactical effort during the Vietnam War. The initial F-4C was an effective machine, but was developed into the F-4D with improvements such as APQ-109A rather than APQ-100 radar and the ASG-22 sight. But both models lacked an internal gun, so the carriage of a cannon pod became frequent in both the air-to-air and air-to-surface roles. This is an SUU-16A pod, being loaded with its 1,200 rounds of 20mm ammunition. The pod features an external ram turbine to power the cannon, and this restricts the aircraft to speeds below 400 miles per hour during the firing pass. Thus, its use was confined mainly to the air-to-ground role, as demonstrated in these sequences of typical ground attack passes. The SUU-16A and the SUU-23A self-powered version for the high-speed air-to-air role were a solution, admittedly not ideal, to the Phantom's lack of an internal gun. The Phantom also operated with air-to-surface missiles such as the 12,000-yard range bullpup. And, as noted before, the main air-to-air fit was based on the medium-range Sparrow and short-range Sidewinder. Air combat was not a frequent occurrence in the Vietnam War, but MiG fighters were sometimes met and generally downed, as here with a Sparrow missile. And sometimes by cannon fire, as in this classic camera gun film. The definitive USAF version was the F-4E, which introduced an M61 Vulcan 20mm cannon in the lower nose, together with the smaller diameter APQ-120 radar, uprated engines, a slotted tailplane, and maneuvering slats on the outer wing panels. As on earlier Phantom variants, provision was also made for podded electronic countermeasures, such as this jammer pod carried in the port-forward Sparrow missile recess. The Phantom soon secured large export orders and rapidly became the West's most important tactical fighter. There have been 11 overseas operators of the Phantom, namely Australia, Greece, West Germany, Turkey, South Korea, Japan, Iran, Egypt and its erstwhile opponent Israel, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Though only the third largest of the Phantom's overseas purchasers in terms of aircraft numbers, the UK opted for a much revised basic model derived from the US Navy's F-4J, but fitted with two Rolls-Royce Spey afterburning turbofans as the F-4K for the Royal Navy and F-4M for the RAF. This required a considerable revision of the fuselage, and the extra drag resulting from this modification obviated the advantages of the more powerful and fuel-efficient power plant. The Phantom FG Mark I naval variant has AWG-11 fire control radar and a number of British features. Among its weapons were the Sparrow missile and the 2-inch rocket, the latter carried in multiple pods under the wings. The FG Mark I remained in service with the Fleet Air Arm until the Royal Navy was forced to phase out its fixed-wing carrier strength in the mid-1970s. The Royal Air Force was then allocated the survivors of the Fleet Air Arm's 52 aircraft. The RAF's Phantom FRG Mark II has AWG-12 fire control radar and a British nav attack system. The accompanying sequence shows typical peacetime ground attack training with rockets, cannon pods, and practice bombs.
Roger, about 5 degrees coming on with attack heading now. Contact the target, master arms going on, and the camera's going on. Going right a bit. Firing now, and pulling. Downwind now for a approach landing.
Roger, Red Leader, join.
Gears down. On speed.